Breaking news. The confrontation that shook reality TV. The footage that nobody was supposed to see has finally gone public. And tonight, the unthinkable just happened. Edward Osefo has confronted Monique Samuels face-to-face after their leaked affair footage sent shockwaves through the entire nation. Reporters described the scene as pure chaos. Cameras flashing, voices trembling, and in the middle of it all, two people who once hid their secret behind perfect smiles, now standing exposed under the world's brightest spotlight. Edward's entrance was ice cold. He didn't blink, didn't flinch. His words cut through the silence like a blade. "You ruined everything, Monique." Within seconds, tears streamed down Monique's face. But what came next broke the internet. Edward pulled out his phone and played a new clip that's now being called the final nail in the coffin. In the background, her voice could be heard, calm yet deadly. "Once it's out, Wendy will never recover." Gasps echoed across the room. Journalists froze. Millions watching from home couldn't believe what they were hearing. Was this love, or a carefully planned betrayal years in the making? Twitter exploded. #Edward vs Monique #affair. Footage #Wendy betrayed trended globally within minutes. Fans are calling it the most explosive reality scandal of the decade. And as Edward's hands shook and his voice broke, one line silenced the crowd. "You were never my mistake. You were my punishment." The world just witnessed a downfall that no one saw coming. This isn't just a scandal. It's a tragedy wrapped in betrayal, and the footage proves it. The world had barely recovered from the leak when the unthinkable happened. Edward Osefo walked into that press room like a storm no one could stop. The air was heavy, every flash of a camera slicing through the tension like lightning. Across the room stood Monique Samuels, trembling, broken, and yet somehow defiant. Every eye was glued to the moment. Every second felt like the countdown to a public execution. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was revenge, betrayal, and tragedy colliding in real time. News anchors whispered, "Is this real? Are they actually facing each other after that footage?" Yes, they were, and the entire internet was watching. Edward's expression was unreadable, his silence louder than a scream. When he finally spoke, his voice cut through the chaos like glass breaking. "You ruined everything, Monique." The crowd gasped. Monique's mascara ran down her face as she shook her head. "Edward, you think I leaked it? I lost everything too." But Edward didn't flinch. He reached into his jacket, pulled out his phone, and played the clip that changed everything. The room went cold. On screen, laughter, glasses clinking, and Monique's unmistakable voice saying, "Once it's out, Wendy will never recover." The press lost control. People screamed. Reporters stood on chairs trying to capture every second. And Edward, the man once praised for his calm, looked like he was about to fall apart. He turned toward her, voice trembling with rage and heartbreak. "You think this was about love? You destroyed my family. You destroyed her." Monique sobbed uncontrollably. Cameras zoomed in on her face. But Edward wasn't done. He slammed his phone onto the podium and shouted, "I trusted you. You said it was just between us. And now the whole world knows." The footage behind them kept replaying, slow motion, looping the same deadly sentence over and over. "Once it's out, Wendy will never recover." Social media exploded within minutes. Edward vs Monique. Affair footage. Wendy betrayed millions were watching live streams, crying, gasping, and flooding the internet with theories. Some called Edward a victim of manipulation. Others said it was karma, that he'd built his downfall with his own hands. And then came the twist no one expected. Another phone pinged on the table. A new leak. An unseen audio clip, now blasting through the speakers. Edward's own voice. "If Monique turns on me, she goes down too." The crowd froze. Monique lifted her head slowly, her tears replaced by pure disbelief. That's when everything shattered. Security rushed in, cameras fell, microphones hit the floor, and headlines around the world lit up like fire. The affair that destroyed everything. This wasn't love. This was war in designer clothes. And the footage was just the beginning. The footage had barely stopped rolling when the crowd lost control. Reporters were shouting, cameras flashing like lightning in a storm. In the middle of that chaos, Edward Osefo stood frozen, pale, trembling, haunted by the sound of his own voice echoing across the speakers. "If Monique turns on me, she goes down too." The words hit like a bomb. The internet went nuclear. Millions were now asking, was Edward the victim or the mastermind? Monique's tears vanished. Her face hardened as she stared at him, fury replacing fear. "You wanted to destroy Wendy, Edward. Don't act like I pulled the trigger alone." Gasps erupted. Edward's jaw clenched. The once calm professor had become a man possessed. "You tricked me into this. You used me to settle your own vendetta." Monique stepped forward, her voice trembling but sharp. "You promised me freedom, Edward. You said once she's gone, we'd both rise." The room turned silent. That one sentence burned across every TV screen. They planned it, together. Social media spiraled into madness. TikTok detectives slowed down every frame of the leaked videos, matching voices, syncing timestamps, exposing whispers between them that no one had noticed before. Reddit threads blew up with theories claiming that the entire affair was part of a bigger setup, a media trap gone wrong. Meanwhile, Edward tried to speak, but the crowd was already chanting, "Liar! Manipulator! You destroyed her!" He slammed the desk, shouting above the chaos, "You think you know the truth? You've seen nothing yet!" He pointed at Monique. "Tell them about the emails. Tell them about the deal." Monique's lips quivered. For a second, she froze, then whispered, "If I talk, you'll lose everything." The crowd went dead silent. Every camera zoomed in. Edward's face drained of color. The fear in his eyes told the world she wasn't bluffing. Within minutes, a new leak hit the internet. Screens lit up with screenshots, secret bank transfers, hidden communications, and a file labeled Project Fall. Journalists screamed. The evidence showed payments, plans, and timestamps proving that the affair wasn't just emotional. It was strategic. Edward tried to defend himself, shouting, "Those are fabricated! This is a setup!" But Monique stepped closer, holding back tears. "No, Edward, this is your legacy. You built this mess, and now it's burning you alive." He looked shattered. The man who once controlled every narrative now drowning in his own. Across the country, Wendy's silence made it worse. She hadn't spoken a word since the tapes surfaced. Her last public photo, a quiet stare, holding a letter in her hand, went viral overnight. Fans captioned it, "The woman who lost everything but still stood tall." And as Monique walked out under flashing lights, Edward fell to his knees. The scandal had eaten him alive. This wasn't just an affair anymore. It was a slow-motion implosion of a man who thought he could play God. The morning after the confrontation, the world woke up to chaos. Every news channel replayed the footage on loop. Edward on his knees, Monique walking out, flashes exploding like gunfire. But this time, a new bombshell dropped. A final tape, one no one was supposed to hear. At exactly 6:00 a.m., a file titled "The Last Conversation" surfaced online. Within seconds, it broke the internet. It wasn't just a recording, it was a confession that shattered every lie. The clip began with Edward's voice, weary, trembling. "I thought I could control everything. I thought I could bury my mistakes. But they buried me instead." The world froze. Monique's voice followed, softer, almost guilty. "You told me you loved me, Edward, but you only loved what I gave you. Power." A pause. A long silence. Then the sound of a chair scraping across the floor. "You think Wendy will ever forgive us?" she whispered. "No," Edward replied coldly. "And that's why she has to disappear." The internet exploded. Millions of comments, millions of hearts breaking at once. Edward confession. Monique exposed. Justice. For Wendy began trending across every platform. In D.C., reporters gathered outside Wendy Osefo's home, curtains drawn, no response. Some claimed she had fled the city. Others said she'd been hospitalized after collapsing the night before. Then, in an emotional twist that nobody saw coming, Wendy's mother appeared outside the house, clutching the same tapes in her hands. She looked straight into the cameras and said, "My daughter trusted the wrong man, but now the world will hear her truth." That single sentence turned the internet into a digital war zone. Influencers, celebrities, and political figures jumped in, demanding justice, exposing the dark side of reality fame, calling out networks that had stayed silent. Meanwhile, Edward vanished. His phone was switched off, his team released no statements, and every sponsor he ever had dropped him overnight. Some claimed he boarded a flight out of the country. Others said the pressure broke him completely. And Monique? She released one final post on Instagram, a black screen with the words, "Forgive me, I didn't mean for it to end this way." That post hit 10 million views in 2 hours, but forgiveness never came. By evening, a news anchor announced breaking headlines. Authorities have launched a full investigation into the Osefo scandal. New evidence suggests planned defamation and financial fraud. It was over. The empire Edward built, the reputation Monique craved, the love Wendy fought for, all turned to ashes. The last line of the leaked confession echoed through every living room, every phone, every mind. "I destroyed her because I couldn't handle her light." That's when people realized this wasn't a scandal anymore. It was a tragedy of love, ego, and betrayal that consumed them all. So here we are, standing in the ashes of everything they built. The love, the lies, the power, all gone. Edward Osefo thought he could play God. Monique thought she could outrun guilt. And Wendy? She became the symbol of every woman who gave her heart to someone who only saw her as a stepping stone. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a slow, public execution of trust. Millions watched it unfold, frame by frame, word by word, and still couldn't look away. Now the question haunts everyone. How far would you go for fame? For revenge? For love that was never real? Because behind every viral story lies a heartbeat, one that breaks quietly while the world laughs. And tonight, as the cameras fade and the headlines die down, one truth remains. Edward didn't just lose his wife, he lost his soul. If you felt that pain, if you believe justice must be louder than silence, then share this story. Let the world remember what betrayal looks like when it's caught on tape. Because this isn't the end. This is the warning.